Hi everyone, this is my video review on the Les Paul 60s standard from Gibson. This is the 2021 model in unburst. Now, I've always had an Epiphone Les Paul. I had a 2012 standard plus top. And after years of playing, I think the natural step that everyone wants is a Gibson. And I went to the Gibson garage in London a couple of weeks ago, tried one out, and yeah, settled on the 60s. The main reason I settled on the 60s is there's two main points. Is probably the neck and the pickups. I think they're the big difference. The rest is probably mainly aesthetic. So the 50s has the gold top hats, where this has the reflective top hats. Tuners, that's also another point. The 50s has the keystone buttons, whereas this one has the Grovers. So I prefer them, but things like that is just preference. But yeah, the main difference I would say is the pickups. The colour's on burst. Now, I mean, I'll just pull it a bit closer so you can see. I preferred the unburst just because it looks a lot more natural. I think it'll age well. I think it'll have a nice patina. I don't plan on getting rid of the guitar. Just plan on keeping it. It's my first Gibson, so hoping it goes into something nice. You can see from the burst on it, it is hard to pick up on the camera because it looks different in every other lighting, really. You can kind of see the flame going across the bottom, and then it's also going up, so you've got kind of like the best of both worlds. I know these come as a AA top, but I mean, I'm not sure the difference between A, AA, AAA. I'm sure there is a big difference, but yeah. And I know they also do these in quilted as well, but they don't really pop up on Gibson's site. I think they may be just exclusives through their Gibson stores. I got this from a dealer in Birkenhead, which is a city just outside of Liverpool. I traded in my old Epiphone Les Paul, so I don't have that with me to compare, but what I really want to get to the point is, what is it like from going from an Epiphone up to a Gibson, and is it really worth it? So we'll just take a quick closer look at the guitar, and then we'll go through some talking points. So yeah, just taking a quick look at the case. This is the case that came with the guitar. We'll just have a look what's inside. So it's just your standard Gibson case, really. Yeah. I know they stopped doing the baby photos, but for some reason I got the multi-tool, which is great. Comes with a truss rod, adjuster, Allen keys, and yeah, a few screwdrivers. So that's handy. And then yeah, in here was the just like a little short user guide, catalogue, warranty, and just if you can see through there's the baby photo, which they have stopped doing, but so I'm lucky to get one of them. Yeah, so now we've taken a quick look in the box and the guitar. Just yeah, some talking points. So Main thing, like I was saying earlier, the pickups. So these have the 60s bursts buckers in. The Epiphone just have, I think is it something like the Alnico Special 2? I don't know, something really basic anyway. The Epiphone pickups aren't the best, but they aren't the worst. It's probably what you'd expect for that price point. The neck in the Epiphone is quite woolly, bit muddy, yeah. Not the best sounding, but it's what you expect for that kind of money. And the neck in the Epiphone, I actually changed mine to a bare knuckle black dog because, yeah, the one that comes with the Epiphone, the pickups that are already there aren't the best. But comparing that bare knuckle black dog and the Epiphone one to the 60s burst bucker, it's like night and day. These pickups are just so good. It's nice and bright sounding, nice and hot. It's got that nice like quack to it as well. I play through a Marshall, and the tone I get is it's spot on. Can't really complain. The next thing I'd probably speak about is the control tone volume knobs. They're actually responsive compared to something like an Epiphone where it's all or nothing, so 10, or you've pretty much got 1 and that's it. Where these actually, 2 is 2, 4 is 4, 7 is 7. You actually get these different tones from the volume and tone controls, which is a nice bonus because once you start being able to like blend in the middle position, you're just unlocking loads more tones that you would never really get the chance to play with on something like an Epiphone without spending hundreds of pounds, changing the pots and the caps and toggle switches and things like that. The way it feels when it playing, the action on this, when I brought it, the guy who was playing it in the shop, we were talking and he said this is probably like the best setup he's had out of the box in terms of action. These ring like a bell. You can actually feel the difference in build quality and sustain. You can't really hit a bad note. They're just so fun to play, and they just feel real nice in the hand as well. In terms of actual build quality as well, yeah. Overall, it's just a lot more aesthetically pleasing than an Epiphone. You've got, if I just point to the camera, the headstock, the open book headstock. Whereas Epiphone, you've got these which are more cutaway, whereas these are a lot more fuller looking. The binding makes a big difference as well, I think, in terms of the way it feels. There's a lot more crisper edge on it when you're holding it. Obviously, I think there's a bit of an argument about binding affecting sound as well in terms of resonance, but I'm not that clued up to make any kind of judgment on that. But in terms of overall feel and quality of the hardware as well, for your money you are spotting a difference, a dramatic difference as well. And it's just different having a look at the back as well. Build quality, spot on. Not that there's many Epiphones that come out the box that are quite poor, but considering I think 80% of this guitar is handmade, it's really spot on. You really can't complain with it. So if you are thinking of potentially going from Epiphone to Gibson, these Gibsons now, I think the 50s and 60s standards are probably some of the guitars that we'll look back in a few years. Not the same way we look at like original 59s and 58s, but probably in the same vein, considering Gibson have been probably not at the peak since probably about 2014 until they got the new leadership involved and sorted out the actual lineup and got rid of them E-tuners and the zero nut or zero fret, and these are just overall, you are not going to feel any remorse or any regret making that jump from Epiphone to Gibson, in my opinion. But we'll plug this in. We'll go through some of the tones, go through some of the sounds. Just a quick note, I'm using a Marshall Origin 20 watt. And yeah, we'll plug it in and see how it sounds. Final thoughts after having a quick listen to it, and yeah, it sounds great. What I would say is don't be put off by price, or even suck it into something like a mid-range or high-end Epiphone now. I know Epiphone are bringing out these like 1,600, 700 models of like Firebirds, and they're basically trying to Gibson-ify these Epiphones by putting in the open book headstock and their electrics and things like that, but you're not getting the same build quality. And I even think some of them are like they've got the poly finish on, I think it's called, not the nitrocellulose lacquer. So it's just something just be mindful of. If you're gonna get a guitar, go and get a Gibson. If you're going to go from an Epiphone, don't go to one of these higher end Epiphones, unless it's something you really want. Some of them do sound good from what I've seen, but it's not a Gibson. You're not going to get half of what the build quality is, I don't think, with something like that. So don't let the money put you off. If you do enjoy playing guitar, you will see every penny you spend in something like this. And in terms of like holding its value, I don't think that there's an issue there. You'd always get your money back, and yeah, the way they sound, the way they play, the way they feel, all compared to an Epiphone, it's night and day. There is no comparison for me. Should have done it years ago, to be honest. I've been playing since 2010, and I've only just decided to get one. So yeah, probably something I wish I did a long time ago. Probably a lot of other people think the same thing, who go out and get Gibsons and whatnot. But yeah, overall, if you would tell me what I'd give this out of 10, it's probably a 10. I can't really fault the guitar at all. The way it feels, the way it sounds, the way it plays, it's all top notch. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope this has given you a little bit of a understanding, and probably helps you make your mind up a bit if you're thinking about going from an Epiphone to a Gibson and spending that little bit extra. I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, thanks for watching.